Assalamu alaikum guys and welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Articles and MCQs. Guys, our today's topic is the nitrogen cycle. Today we will discuss that what exactly the nitrogen cycle is. But before starting the nitrogen cycle in detail, we will go through the brief introduction of nitrogen. And about the nitrogen, it is an odorless and colorless element, and it is the most abundant element of the atmosphere, that it constitutes a 78% of all the gases present in the atmosphere. And guys, nitrogen is a gas that is very crucial to life, and it is found in the soil and plants. It is also found in the water we drink and also found in the air we breathe in. And if we talk about our building block, that is a DNA, that it is very important it is also a very important building block of our DNA. So after this brief introduction of nitrogen, we will come back towards our main topic, that is nitrogen cycle. So the nitrogen cycle is a series of processes in which the nitrogen moves from the non-living things towards the living things, and from the living things towards the non-living things, or you can say that vice versa. For example, here you can see that different living things are like animals and plants and green algae. And if we talk about the non-living things, they can be the soil, water, and the atmosphere. If the nitrogen is moving from these all things, then this will be a cyclic pathway and will be called as the nitrogen cycle. But guys, the nitrogen is not present in only in the form of nitrogen gas. It is present in different forms. So first of all, we will learn that what are different forms of the nitrogen in which it exists. For example, in atmosphere, it exists as a gas, that is the nitrogen gas N2. If we talk about the soils, it exists as a nitrogen oxide and nitrogen dioxide also. And when it is used as a fertilizer, it can be found in other forms like ammonia. It can be also found in the form of ammonium nitrate, that is NH4 NO3. So these are different forms of nitrogen. So now we will discuss the different stages from which the nitrogen has to pass during its nitrogen cycle. So starting our main topic, nitrogen cycle. Guys, nitrogen, first of all, there is a huge pool of nitrogen gas that is present in the atmosphere. And it is nitrogen gas. Okay, and then this nitrogen gas cannot be used by the plants directly. And in order to make it usable by the plants, it should be transformed into the other forms. So now in order to transform into the other forms, there are different processes that can be used. The first process can be lightning, means a small amount of the nitrogen can be transformed or fixed by the help of lightning. Means the lightning will provide the energy, and then the nitrogen will react with the oxygen, and then it will change into the nitrogen oxide or nitrogen dioxide. So here the nitrogen is going to fix, means the nitrogen gas is changing into the other forms. So this is the first process that is or you can say that the first stage. This is the first stage that is called a nitrogen fixation. So in order to fix the nitrogen, the first thing we studied, that it can be fixed by the help of lightning. But there sometimes the nitrogen can be also fixed by the help of different industrial processes. Like the nitrogen will react with the hydrogen, and the hydrogen will nitrogen and hydrogen will react with each other, and it will change into the ammonia. So this ammonia can be further processed into and changed into the ammonium nitrate, and ammonium nitrate and ammonia can be used as fertilizers. So Here you can see that the first step, or in the first stage, there is the one thing that nitrogen can be fixed by the help of lightning, or it can also be fixed by the help of the fertilizers. Mean nitrogen will react with hydrogen and will change into the ammonium, and if we provide this ammonium or ammonium nitrate to the plants, then the nitrogen will be directly provided to the plants. And one thing, guys, about the lightning is when the nitrogen will react with the hydrogen and change into the nitrogen oxide, this nitrogen oxide will then enter into the soil by the help of rain, or it can be entered into the soil by the help of the snow. So this is the first process that can be used, and the second process that can be used is fertilizers in order to fix the nitrogen. And the third and most important process here, that most of the nitrogen is fixed by the help of bacteria that are attached to the plant roots, and these bacteria have symbiotic relationship with the plants. Symbiotic relationship means that the bacteria and the plants are both will get benefit. How they will get benefit? That bacteria that are associating with the plants, here you can see in this picture, these are the small bacteria that are associated with the plants, and these bacteria will get energy from the plants, and in turn perform the nitrogen fixation. How it will perform the nitrogen fixation? That it will fix the nitrogen, and nitrogen will be transformed into the organic nitrogen, and this organic nitrogen can be directly used by the plants. So one thing that can be used by the plants is nitrogen oxide or nitrogen dioxide. Second is ammonia or ammonium nitrate that can be used by the plants, and the third is the organic nitrogen, which will be provided by the help of symbiotic bacteria that are present in the roots of some plants. So these bacteria can be also called as nitrogen fixing bacteria. So this is the first stage, that is called the nitrogen fixation. So guys, after this process, the plant will die, and when the plant will die, it will enter into the soil. And after entering into the soil, most of the decomposers, here you can see that there are some of the decomposers shown. Most of the decomposers act on it, and then act on the animals or plants manure, and then the organic nitrogen will change into the ammonia, and then here you can see that this organic nitrogen comes from these bacteria which have fixed this nitrogen into the organic nitrogen. Organic nitrogen can be converted into the ammonia by the help of the decomposers, and the ammonia will when react with the water, it will convert into the NH4. So this NH4 will be directly used by the plants, and this NH4 is mostly used by those plants that do not use the nitrogen fixation process of bacteria by the help of root nodules. So this is the second step, that is also called mineralization, and this step is going in the soil. Here, this is the second step, or this is the second stage, that is called as mineralization. So in the third step, then the nitrates, first of all, this ammonia is formed here in the process of mineralization. In the third stage, this ammonia will react with oxygen, and after reacting with the oxygen, it will convert into a new product which is called as nitrites. Here you can see that there is the ammonia, shown, and this is the same ammonia that comes after the process of mineralization. Ammonia is changed into the nitrites that are NO2 negative, and these nitrites, this conversion of changing of ammonia into nitrites is going through the help of some bacteria that is also called nitrosomonas. And guys, this is the bacteria that react in the presence of oxygen. So ammonia will react with the oxygen and into change into the nitrites, and nitrites will react with the oxygen and will change into the nitrates. And this conversion is also going to going by the help of the bacteria species, that is nitrobacter species. And it is also it can also work in the presence of oxygen. So this is the third step, that is called as nitrification. So here the ammonia is changed into the nitrites and then into the nitrates, and this process is also going in the soil. So guys, after the nitrification process, the final products are the nitrites, and the final products are the nitrates. And guys, the nitrates will then react with the nitrates will change into again back into the nitrogen gas by the help of some bacteria. And this process is the fourth process, that is called as denitrification. So guys, here there is a final product that is formed as nitrogen gas in the atmosphere back where we began our story. But one problem is that this can result in the overall loss of nitrogen from the soil. So in order to compensate this loss, one more process is there, and that process is the fifth process, that is called as immobilization. And guys, immobilization is a process that most of the microorganisms also need nitrogen when they don't get enough nitrogen from the decomposing plants. They start using the NO3, that is nitrates that are forming here, and NH4 that are formed in this process from the soil, thus tying up the nitrogen in the soil. Means if the bacteria will use these nitrates and NH4, then the plants will not again use this. So this also help in the creating balance of the nitrogen in the soil. Otherwise, if these four processes are continually working, then there is overall loss, chance of the loss of the nitrogen from the soil into the nitrogen gas. So in order to tie up the nitrogen in the soil, there is need of another fifth process, that is called as immobilization, and this fifth process is carried out by microorganisms. In this way, they also complete their need of nitrogen, and the nitrogen also remains in the soil of the plant. So guys, this is all over the process and five stages of the nitrogen cycle. That is, first is nitrogen fixation, second mineralization, third is nitrification, fourth is denitrification, and the fifth one is immobilization. I hope you all understand about this process, and if you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your friends. Thank you so much.